Look who's back, y'all. Is your friendly neighborhood reptile here back again? I never thought I would actually do another. I never thought I would actually do a whole nother video or live stream like this. Uh, but yeah, I'm back, and if you guys saw my recent videos, such as my recent Killer Instinct video for SOG reviews, and then you also saw my advertisement for my recent album, Degradation. I very much appreciate that because it really means a lot that that y'all you know checked out everything like literally the moment I came back. Right now I'm just peeking at the chat right here. Andrew says, "I'm glad you're back, Larry. Thank you very kindly." And Maiden Ragsdale says, "Sup? Everything's all right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I want to very quickly like apologize for the emotional tantrum I kind of had in the last live stream I had before I left, because like you got to keep in mind I was going through a very tough. I was going through a lot of emotions during that time. Now, to be fair, my depression. I do. While it's no secret that I do suffer from depression, it's not an excuse. So I don't like to use that as a driving force to kind of justify the actions I did in that particular live stream. It didn't help the fact that when I found out that Chadwick Boseman passed away, like literally on the same day that I went to Classic Game Junkie. It didn't help me feel any better, to be honest with you. Kevin also says, "Hey Larry, how's your day going? So far, so good." Lotso, good to see you, old friend. He says, "How you doing, man?" I'm doing good. I'm actually doing a lot better than before. And Mr. Director 8 says, "Hey man, it's good to see you, Ian. Always good." But like I said, I do want to apologize though, because I didn't mean to kind of like go off on. I didn't mean to go off on anyone on my channel like that. It's very rare that I ever do something like that emotional. Like it's very rare that I kind of rant and rave about how disappointed I am with my fan base and everything. There he is, Mr. Levon Media. Hello, friend. How you doing, man? I missed you. Uh, and PBS 15 TV network says, "Hey Larry, I'm a big fan of yours since I was 12." Thank you, thank you. Uh, and Mr. Director A also says, "Listen to Mental Degradation." Uh, yeah. The thing about that too is that I'll actually get to my album in a second, but let me get this out of the way real quick. Like I said, I didn't mean to go off the way I did. Like it was like 3 weeks ago, I think, because again, I was just so burnt out. From like I said, there was a lot of things going on at the time. Like I was kind of burnt out from my job. I was burnt out from making YouTube videos that barely got any views. I mean, even so, even my most recent Killer Instinct video barely got any views too, as it is. Well, to be fair, I think I just recently posted it yesterday. But sooner or later, it's going to catch on. And I noticed that you guys probably also saw that I deactivated my Twitter. 9 times out of 10, I'm probably gonna bring it back up. Uh, it's just that social media right now is pretty toxic for me right now. Like, I mean, social media has always been a toxic wasteland, but it just seems like it's getting worse and worse now, with COVID-19 being an issue, the whole Black Lives Matter movement, Chadwick Boseman, and then you also have the fact that there's a lot of trolls and stuff out there who, you know, they do whatever they want and just start messing with people who have feelings and everything, just to I guess in a way to gain notoriety or something, which again is really messed up. That's actually one of the biggest reasons why. uh Mr. Director 8 says it's really hard to get a good amount of views on gaming videos. Well, first off, it depends on the video, and it depends on who your audience is, and it also depends on how you market your videos. But if you have like a good fan base, then 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get a good amount of views on it. But I digress. But when I said that I was disappointed in every single one of you, I'm gonna put it to you this way. What I should have said was that I just wish that a lot of you would be more supportive for the positive stuff that I post on my channel, as opposed to a lot of the drama related stuff on my channel. But instead, I kind of took it way too far and got very emotional with everyone, especially to those who didn't even deserve it. So that's the first thing. And the next thing you know, I just literally like disappeared off the face of the planet for like 3 weeks. You know what I mean? And then I even posted the ad for Mental Degradation, which again I will go into more details about that album in a second. But to all of you who are listening right now, I actually don't know how many viewers I have right now because my OBS isn't like showing it. But I can look at the participants in my live chat and I can see that we have a good amount of members there. Lotso, Ian, PBS, and Kevin and Andrew, which is great. But like I said, I do want to apologize for lashing out the way I did. Because like I said, this channel is not about spreading drama or negativity or anything like that. It's all about positivity and everything. Because I always like to throw out some entertaining content for people as a way for them to kind of escape from the harsh realities of the world around us, and just take a break from what we're stressing about and just have some fun. You know what I mean? Because again, we're dealing with a global health crisis, COVID-19, and then in the country of America, we're also dealing with the whole Black Lives Matter protest that's been going on since George Floyd unfortunately lost his life. And then at the same time, we also had to witness all these horrible celebrity deaths, Regis Philbin, Chadwick Boseman, among many others and stuff. Like, it's horrible that we lost these guys. But the only thing I can say is that it'll take us a while to recover. I understand that it's gonna take us a while to recover. With that being said, though, we still have a chance to move on and into a newer generation and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying, and that stuff. Levon says I'm listening to my father yelling about politics right now. Well, I no comment to that. Anyway, now Ian earlier in the stream also brought up he also brought up the fact that that all of you should listen to my recent album, Mental Degradation. This is actually something I actually really wanted to talk about since I started doing this live stream, because it seems like, I don't know about you, but it seems like I've been getting a decent amount of notoriety just from this one album, which is crazy because this is actually my very first Master Reptile album in over a year. Actually, well, just about. Because the last time I ever had an album out, it was Eye of the Storm, which was my dubstep album, which I hope a lot of you guys enjoyed, for the record. But yeah, here we go. Sorry about I'm just doing this on the fly right here. Sorry about that. Yeah, there you go. Mental Degradation. So yeah, this album is I've been working on it for almost a year. Like I said, if you go onto my Spotify, you'll see that the last album that I uploaded was Eye of the Storm, which was October 2019, and now we're in September of 2020, and believe it or not, this very album right here is my very first Master Reptile album in almost a year, because I spent all that time working on this, and a large part of that came down to the things that I was going through during it. Because, in fact, you might be wondering, how exactly did this album get its name, Mental Degradation? Well, like I said, my depression and some other issues that my depression, which I largely documented on my channel. That's something I go through every time. And during late 2019, I really don't want to talk about what happened. I like to, you see, I'm an introvert, so I like to keep my stuff private. Uh, and Andrew asked, will the new album be available on iTunes? It's actually available on iTunes right now. It's on Spotify, it's on Google Play, it's on iTunes or Apple Music, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's actually out there right now. It's even on YouTube Music as well. But what do I say? Yeah. But yeah, the theme of the album kind of details like the emotions and struggles that I was going through over the past year. And again, that's another reason why it took me a year to create it, because like I had to kind of process my emotions of everything that I went through. And so far, like Ian is only. It's funny how like the only song that Ian has been bringing up so far is "Living Like Larry," because that was actually the beats that were done in that particular song was actually all composed by him, while I did the vocals, and it seems like it seems like that he only likes that one particular song simply because he composed it, but I guess all the other songs to him on this album are a load of shit. But I don't know. No, I'm just playing. Uh, and this particular artwork too. Uh, I'm not gonna lie. Like in all honesty, like I feel like this artwork I have for it is done. And by the way, Levon also said that he does actually like the third track. And I think wait a second, which third track is he? I think the third track he's referring to is "Check Yourself." 'Cause, like I said, I'm actually on my phone right now. It's actually on my Spotify right now. You know me. I actually straight up fucking added right there. Yeah, so you can kind of see it right there for yourself. So yeah, he's referring to the third track, which is "Check Yourself" right there. Sorry if you guys can barely even see it. Uh, I can actually control the I can actually kind of you see, thankfully my webcam that I'm using right now, even though it's wide angle, it does have a little focus lens, so I could have actually controlled that. But I got my studio mic right here, so I didn't want to like move anything. Uh, Now you might be wondering, why is there only 8 tracks on here? To sum it up, there were a lot of tracks that were originally gonna make the cut of this album, but they never did. But I might release it sometime in the future as a deluxe edition potentially. Uh, but just know that this won't be the only release so far. And I'm actually really glad I got this album out. I'm actually really glad, because I've actually always wanted to do it for a while. Because even though like there's even it's like a 50-50 type album. Half the songs are instrumentals and half of them feature my vocals, which is something that's rare for Master Reptile, because I usually don't do vocals. But the only reason I made an exception for this particular album is because, like I said, I was going through a lot emotionally, so I wanted to I wanted to be able to let out my emotions in a very productive way, just as a way to be heard, especially as a way of, like, I guess you could say, acting as an advocate for people who go through shit like this, Because, like I said, the song "Check Yourself" is about. I mean, it's in the title of the song, "Check Yourself," and in the lyrics, it's all about, like, the song is about just being aware of your flaws, and yeah, just being aware of your flaws, and not being so hypocritical, and not being so hypocritical when you're trying to make a change for yourself and everything. So it's all about just bettering yourself and not being such a hypocrite, uh and then the other vocals, the second vocal song, which is the 5th track on Mental Degradation, "Bitch." You might be wondering, what exactly is "Bitch"? What can you expect from a song named "Bitch"? This is something that a lot of people who listen to this album have no idea what it's about. Uh, this is actually one. This is actually two. This is actually one of two diss tracks. Bitch is a diss track, and Living Like Larry is a diss track too. But Living Like Larry was the one I worked the hardest on, like in terms of the lyrics. That one was the hardest one that I worked on. Uh, but let me discuss Bitch real quick. Bitch is about a woman who you have feelings for, right? And then she kind of, and then like this woman, she kind of like gives you she kind of gives you a little bit of reciprocation in a way, you know. She kind of gives you a hint that she might also like you back and everything. She's always like very warm to you and everything. And then and how do I put this? uh and then and then the bitch part comes in when she straight up goes after your bro as a way of intentionally making you feel jealous and not feeling bad about it, and in a way rubbing her relationship with your friend in your face. Because in the lyrics in the chorus, I said, use a bitch, fuck my bro behind my back. Like she never, like she does all this stuff right behind me, and then, worst of all, she kind of like rubs it in my face, you know. And like I said, it's based on a real life event that happened. So this wasn't even like some kind of song that I made for storytelling. This song was literally based on real events that happened in my life, as recent as late 2019. Which again, that brings me to Living Like Larry, but I'll get to that in a second. I just want to read the chat real quick. Ian says, I find it funny that both me and you have a song called Bitch now, but we made two completely different songs. The instrument and Levon says the instrumentals for Bitch reminds me of a certain song of mine. I wonder what that could be. You're so funny. I know. I know. I had to. I thought using the Mimel the Killer Elf style was better for it because it actually kind of synced with the tone of the song. So that's why I kind of composed it Mimel the Killer Elf style. And Maiden also says, "Who are you dissing?" Well, I kind of just said that already. It was a woman that it was a woman that I used to be friends with, and she kind of, let's just say she kind of did some things that I was not a big fan of. The best way I can explain it is that like even though we weren't romantically involved, she still kind of did some things that like got to my head and everything. And so this song was a way of like kind of getting over her in a way, if that makes sense. So that's what the song was about. It was a diss track that was targeted towards specifically her for the most part. It was specifically her. I mean, she's also brought up in Living Like Larry, but I'll get to that in a second. Uh, it might and also asked a very interesting question just now. Did you record in the studio? No. Nope. I did not record my album in a studio. I actually did it all in here. Like all in here in the safety of my room. Uh and then he also says fuck your friend. I'd rather not answer those questions. I don't like, I know there's people who do like group talk sex shit, but I kind of like to keep my sex life private, to be honest with you, because honestly, it's none of your business. I'm just being real with you. I'd rather not go into detail about stuff that personal. Uh, but yeah, don't fuck with us. This one was probably like the only. This one is probably the only. This one is actually hard to really understand. But don't fuck with us is actually about Reptile and his group of friends. Joe Jackson and stuff. And his little clique in a way, as a way of like threatening the violent ducks and everything. So that one was probably like the only fictionist. That one was only it was a fictionist story for the album that I could come up with. That's the best way. Levon also says, anyways, who drew that awesome anime artwork? Is this the official mascot for Master Reptile? Okay, that's actually a really good question. I forget who it was who did this album, because I literally paid $3 to get it done. So before anyone goes out there and says, did I actually did this whole entire artwork myself? No. The only thing I did was the only thing that I did in the artwork for this album was the text. Basically, that was the only stuff I did. Mental Degradation and Reptile and Master Reptile. I didn't do the background, nor did I do the anime artwork. I mean, it's pretty much well documented on this channel that I am definitely not a fucking not the best artist in the world. Hold on one second. Yeah, I actually paid $3 to actually have this album artwork done because I really wanted it. A lot of artists actually spend money just to have their artwork done. You know what I mean? That's what I love about being an artist, is that you're so dedicated to it that you're willing to go through any lengths, even spending money to get it done. Andrew also asked, will the song be used in Reptile 3? I cannot say for sure, because right now, as far as Reptile 3 is concerned, I'm probably not even gonna start filming that until like maybe next year. But right now it is way too early to even decipher that. I mean, it's a good question, don't get me wrong. Good question, but that's just something I'm not entirely sure about. You know what I mean? Because I'm still trying to question what direction I really want to take the third film in. Actually, I do know what I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of like reboot the. I kind of wanted to like I kind of wanted to take some little baby steps as a way of kind of like getting the audience to know who he is, so that way they don't have to watch the first two films. But that's about it. And Levon also says, so it's an art commission. Sorta. Hold on a second. I'm about to tell you where how I got the artwork done. I'm about to tell you. Hold on one second. I know it's in my email somewhere. Yeah, this is it. Look up a website called Placeit. It's all in one word. Basically, it's a site where you can create mock-ups, logos, T-shirts, all kinds of logos. You can even create Twitch overlays, banners, and stuff like that. Like, it allows you to do anything. They even have like a membership and everything and all that stuff. Or if you don't want to have a membership, you can just create like a template or whatever, or use a template or whatever, and just create like just create whatever logo or T-shirt or hat or mug, whatever you want, and only pay like a couple bucks for it and all that stuff. That's literally what I did. So basically what I'm trying to say is that even though even though I didn't draw the anime artwork or much less the background, I did I did fork up the money to have the template and all that stuff. So like I at least hope everybody understands that like I'm not a 100% original artist and everything, but I at least tried to make sure that the cover art is as original as possible, even if I didn't 100% create the whole goddamn art. And the reason why I chose specifically this anime character right here is because of how much he resembles Reptile in every way. So back to the question of Levon about whether or not if he's an official mascot. No, he is not. The only reason why I picked him specifically is because like you're clearly looking at him, right? He's all angry and everything. He's wearing like he's got like this spike lace around his neck, and then like he's got, well, that's the thing. I'm not even sure if the character is male or female. Don't listen. That's up for you guys to decide. That's up to you. Hold on one second. I just want to see if I can. Hang on a second. Okay. Sorry about that. I just wanted to clear up the camera a little bit. But yeah, and then you also see like this little skull mask that he's wearing, almost like he's turning into a monster and everything. you know, because like up in here he's like mentally deteriorating, so he's becoming like a monster, so to say. So it's a trap then. I thought it was a girl. It probably is. It probably is a female, but uh I'm sorry, I'm just listening. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think the character is female, but even I'm not sure of even I'm not sure of that. I'm the one who made the artwork, and even I don't know. So that's up to you to decide. Uh, but that's all right with me though. Oh my god. Could you guys give me 1 second? I apologize. I apologize about that. I really do apologize about that. That was my mother. Uh, but yeah, like I don't know. I personally think the character is a female, and she just kind of resembles Reptile. Uh, Especially since like you do you see the character's you do see the character's shoulders, right? It kind of looks like she's wearing like a bra or something like that, like almost like she's kind of like half naked or whatever or something. I don't know. I don't know. Let me do something here, cause like I said, I did yeah, I'm trying to actually see like on my place it thing whether or not if it does explain who the character really is. Uh, but I can't really seem to find it anywhere. That's really messed up. Yeah, that's really messed up. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Make it that if you will, guys. But now let me talk about the final single of this of the album here. Living Like Larry, featuring ASOG or Ok Ok Alkiska, I think it is. I don't know. Something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. Uh, the only reason how come I went with his ASOG moniker instead of the Alkiska is because like I figured that since a lot of you know Ian's musical alias by specifically that name, I figured that would be the only way that people would know that it was him specifically. Uh, so thing about the thing about living like Larry is that like it's the culmination of everything that of every negative thing that happened in my life. Cause like I have because I've had so many things on my mind when I wrote this particular diss track. This diss track is literally all about everything that happened in late 2019. You know, it was about the fact that like I was once a member of a club at my college, and then at first I thought these people were actually cool with me, and they were people that would actually legit pour my heart out to, because and it's very rare that I usually do that because you know, as I said before earlier, I'm very private about my life, and I'm also very private about what I go through, except for the depression, because, you know, I feel like anybody who suffers from depression should not be afraid to go public about it. But like, other than that, everything else that goes on in my life, like I kind of like to keep that private because I don't really want people to know that beyond just, you know, just knowing that I'm sick. But that's about it. Um, but yeah, it was about the fact that I was a member of this club, and I thought everybody was cool with me and everything, and that because they would often tell me, oh yeah, you're stuck with us, you know what I mean, like you don't have to worry about us leaving you anytime, you're stuck with us and all that stuff. So I literally took it to heart because I literally thought they meant it, and the fact that I was practically with them almost every day, you know, at CCP and everything, like I thought to myself, you know, this is actually where it's at. I feel like these people are actually my kind of folks. You know what I mean? The only issue though is that with most of them, I didn't really hang. But here's where I should have noticed. For one thing, I don't usually hang out with them outside of my college. Well, except for a couple of them, where I did. There were a few that I actually did kind of hang out with outside of, you know, my college. And then and it didn't help the fact that that a lot of these people that I was hanging with, I didn't even know them for that long. I only knew them for like a couple of months and everything. So then, I did some things. I admittedly did do some things that I'm not very, very proud of. And rather than them just giving me a chance to better myself and make up for the sins that I've committed and everything, they instead decided to make me feel even worse about myself rather than actually giving me the chance, space, and leverage to actually make the change that I was trying to do as a way of making up for, what I've done and everything. But instead, they made me feel even worse about myself and left me deserted to just, in a way, to I guess they wanted me to wallow in my misery and everything. And whether or not if I had if I wanted to commit suicide sometime after everything had transpired, they wouldn't have cared anyway because, they would have moved on with their lives and everything. And that was the day that I had officially become a very cynical human being. Now, to be fair, I wouldn't say that I am the most cynical person in the world. There's people who are way more cynical than I am, but I'm cynical in terms of how I want to either carry myself around people or even want to be around people. And there's a large reason why you wouldn't often see me out in public too much because I'm more of like an indoors kind of guy. Like I kind of like to live more privately. Like I said, I'm an introvert, so I I don't like to be around. I honestly don't really understand most people, so and it's not the fact that I have any hatred towards the human race just because of this certain group of people that didn't like me and all that stuff, but it's just the fact that people like me are just different, and I'm just not meant to be, indulged in society and stuff, which is one of the reasons why you see me do videos or streams or even have my pets around all the time and everything, because they're like the only group of people who can, rather, the only group of living beings that can truly understand me, and I trust them, you know. But without going into a sob story or whatever, uh, that's what living like Larry is all about. It's about the fact that like these group of people had fucked up who I was, like from a personality standpoint, and I became like so cynical. And then after that, I just kind of, and it was also about me. Like it's about me basically coming to terms with being a lone wolf. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I consider myself a lone wolf now, because I don't. The thing that you need to understand in life is that not everybody's gonna like you, and you're also gonna have to realize that you also have to realize that people who you may think are your friends at first, they're not gonna be there forever. Which again, that's messed up, but that's something you have to come to terms with. You know what I mean? You have to realize that people change for either better or for worse. And this is one of those instances where I learned that these were folks who, even though they had the same interests as me and all that stuff, and loved hanging with me and all that stuff, they obviously they could not tolerate who I was from a personality, as far as my personality went. And that's why I strongly encourage everyone here to not do what I do, being so cynical and then just like ignoring people altogether and all that stuff. I don't really condone that kind of stuff. What I recommend that you do instead is just to, like I said, it's in the title, living like Larry. You know what I mean? Obviously it's a reference to SpongeBob, so that's another reason why I got the title. Also named after my podcast, which again, the podcast came specifically from SpongeBob, where the character Larry the Lobster was telling SpongeBob and Patrick how to live like him, live like Larry, and they were both taking it literally by doing very extreme things and thus, maiming and injuring themselves in the process. And then Larry had to clarify what he meant by living like Larry, which means to live life to the fullest. And that was the kind of message I was going for in that song there, because like I said, despite everything that I was going through, I was trying to encourage I was encouraging my listeners, to anybody who was listening to that particular diss track, to not give up on life just because a certain group of people hated who you were. and all that stuff. But you just gotta continue to live like Larry and just move on with your life and everything. Even if you have to live the rest of your life as a lone wolf, there's still plenty of opportunities for you out there. You know, you can still be a lone wolf and still deal with people, which is something I do all the time. I mean, keep in mind I work 4 days a week, so even if I don't want to be around people, I have to. You know what I mean? But that's not to say that like everyone at my job are bad people. I don't think that. It's just that uh, trying to make me making friends with people is just something I don't have the time and resources for at the very moment. Uh, it's just that like me trying to meet new people, find new friends or a soulmate or whatever. It's just the things that are on my mind right now. So like there's like a lot of things that you guys have probably learned about me. I'm an introvert. I have depression, and I even have actually here's something. This isn't necessary to the subject, but I wanted to point it out. But I also have ADD as well. I've had it since I was in high school, actually, which is one of the biggest reasons how come high school was one of the worst years ever, because it was just like it was just again it was just rough for me to hang on a second, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was very rough for me because like a lot of the things that I did in high school were things that I did that I wasn't the most proud of and everything. I actually always had this problem. Even at 21 years old, even as a freaking grown ass man, I still have this issue where where I just where my attention span just like goes everywhere. Even when I'm making videos or music or whatever, that same problem still occurs here. That being said, though, I don't like I said, I don't like to use it as an excuse because I genuinely think that because even if you have these issues, you can control them. You know what I mean? Like you can actually control it and maintain it. Obviously you can only go so far, but you can still kind of you can still control it. It's even one of the main reasons why I tend to stumble a lot in my speech and everything. Because, for one thing, I've always had speech issues since I was 6 years old. There's a reason how come I was in speech therapy for 11 years, yeah. Because I was there since I was 6 years old. And then, like, 11 years later, when I graduated high school, was when I finally stopped. And even, like I said, even as a 21-year-old, I still have this problem. But I'm slowly but surely getting better with it. I mean, like, you can tell how my speech have kind of improved in some of the videos I've done, such as my recent Killer Instinct video. Like, you notice how, like, my commentary was a lot better, even though it was scripted. But even when it came to scripts, I usually wasn't the best at reading them because I would often stumble in my sentences a lot. But I felt like, out of the many reviews that I've done, that one was probably, like, one of the best, that was probably one of the best narrated videos I've done, like in a while. And as far as this album goes, I know we're going off topic from here, and see that's another thing. I tend to go off topic a lot. See what I mean? But yeah, but about this particular album right here, though. As far as writing the lyrics, it was the toughest challenge. I feel like I honestly believe that producing the beats for this album was easier than coming up with the lyrics. Uh, and like I said, I'm just glad that I got this album out. Now, there's also, I'm also want to bring this up too, so that way people won't be surprised if it does happen. But there could be a potential chance that I may retire the Master Reptile name, like the artist. Now, before you guys get all up in arms and everything, and before you start freaking out in the chat, please hear me out. Okay, please hear me out. A large part of this is due to the fact that that I'm running out of ideas for for the direction that I want some of these songs to go in. I mean, when I did Streets, the Streets album, right? That was more or less paying homage to hold on a second. Let me see if I can actually show it. If I even still have the artwork cover on here, which I should. Yes, I do. Thank God. Yeah, but like I said, when I did this particular album right here, Streets, right? when I did Streets, this particular album was mostly meant to pay homage to like old school hip hop in a way, because like you've noticed that if you listen to some of the tracks, they kind of resemble like hip hop tracks from like the late 90s or early 2000s and stuff. So I at least wanted to do an album like that and get it out of the way. Like now the only there were some tracks on here that were more modern compared to some of the others. Like for example, Loner. And then there was also Deep Thoughts, which was again one of the hardest tracks I had ever done. Even though I didn't do the beats to it, Natsu Fuji did. I only did the vocals. I mean, like you can clearly see his feature name on there on the Spotify. Uh, but like I said, it was one of the hardest songs I had to make, specifically because I had to come up with some very good lyrics and stuff. Uh, but if you listen to City of Brotherly Love, which for the record is actually my fifth most popular song on Spotify, by the way. Uh, yeah, City of Brotherly Love samples like an R&B. It samples an R&B song, right? But it adds like some 90s style hip hop beats though. And that song specifically was done as a way of paying homage to the old school style of hip hop, which was again the direction that I wanted to go in when I did Streets, and that's why I will forever consider Streets to be one of my personal favorite Master Reptile albums that I've done. Uh, but that being said, but with that being said, it's not my personal favorite album. It's actually not. Uh, and you guys also probably noticed too. You guys noticed that if you guys have followed me on SoundCloud for a while, that the original name for my very first Master Reptile album was called The Ministry. Yeah, I know. I don't know why it's so big. That's messed up. Yeah, you probably remember this particular album, The Ministry, which was originally called Ministry for the Bass on SoundCloud. But first off, the art design of the album cover on SoundCloud wasn't very good, in my opinion. So that's why I decided to kind of like redo the whole artwork and everything. But it's still considered a 2017 release simply because all the music in the album was produced in 2017, and it still kind of keeps the same name as the original version of the album. It still has the Ministry name, but obviously you can kind of see that you guys probably recognize the background. If you guys are a huge video game fan like I am, you'll notice that the background of this particular album cover comes from Streets of Rage, which is one of my all-time favorite games, beat 'em up games more specifically. But yeah, The Ministry will forever be like, even though I don't think it was my best album, because like I said, it was the first time I ever took the Master Reptile moniker seriously. I still think it was a huge debut for Master Reptile. But with that being said, so far, I think my personal favorite album, which again, bear with me, I have my reasons, is probably this particular album right here, Eye of the Storm. The reason why Eye of the Storm is my personal favorite is because it took me a longer time to create this particular album, more so than Mental Degradation. Even though it still took me a while to do Mental Degradation. It still took me forever. Hang on a second. I'm trying to position this. I'm sorry. Keep in mind keep in mind what you're seeing is something that's live. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I know. I have the best editing in the world. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I do think that these two albums so far are definitely my personal favorites. But Eye of the Storm might be my personal favorite because it was the hardest one of them all. you know, I just think that. Let me see. Ian says just something to point out: the SoundCloud version and the other streaming versions of Reptiles Trap are very different from each other. Yeah, yeah, they are. They are. And then PBS 15 also says, "Hey Larry, would you like to be friends and talk to each other?" I have to politely decline that. I'm really sorry. But don't take it personally. Yeah, don't take it personally. But I'm gonna have to politely decline that. Because I noticed you were asking it a couple times. I know I missed it, but that was because I was just trying to get my thoughts out. So I apologize for missing your messages from before, because I know you were trying to like ask that. But I hope that answer just clears it up. But like I said, just don't take it personally. Anyway, uh, but yeah, Eye of the Storm was was definitely my personal favorite. It took me about how long? Literally a full year. Literally a full year. I was Mental Degradation on the other hand was more like 11 months. You know what I mean? But Eye of the Storm was a full year. Full year. Yeah, it was a full year actually. Because like in the middle of it all, I was still throwing out like singles and dubsteps here and there, but I still needed to come up with something original. Uh, and Eye of the Storm, obviously has a weather theme to it. I mean, like if you look at the title of all the songs, they obviously are named after weather phenomena. Uh, lethal, there's lethal lightning, of course, which is funny because, I decided out of all the things I could have done for the album artwork of Eye of the Storm, I specifically went for a lightning bolt because when you think of a thunderstorm, the most common thing you think of is a lightning bolt, one of the most powerful things on earth. And it's funny too because like as powerful as they are, they very rarely kill people. Only very few people throughout like the history of this world have been killed from a lightning bolt. Most of the time, most people just got severely injured and suffered third-degree burns. I mean, you got to realize how powerful a lightning bolt is. But I digress. Then you also have the fact that some of them is called the other song is called Acid Rain, which is not even something I made up. Now, Lethal Lightning, sure, but Acid Rain is a real term, and what that does is that it refers to uh how acid rain works is that like say there's like a factory that's like pushing out like tons and tons of like oil and gas into the clouds and everything like before it rains and everything. And what happens is that like the oils in a way kind of like pollute the clouds. And then when the rain comes down, uh the rain is very acidic. You know what I mean? It's a very tough thing to explain, but keep in mind that I've read weather books since I was a kid, so I know acid rain is a real thing. It's very interesting to be honest with you. Uh, but then there was also F5. F5 is actually one of my personal favorite tracks. Uh, I know most people liked Eye of the Storm, the song of the same name as the album, but like F5 was I think F5 was my personal favorite because it just like I just like the way it sounded. Like it kind of had like that DNB vibe and everything, that DNB EDM type vibe. That's what I like about it. And not to mention, you can tell just by the title of the song, F5 refers to the most powerful condition that the most powerful tornado that could form. Although there were some that have actually spawned in that were ranked as an F6 tornado, but they're very very rare. Uh, and then there's End of Fear might be the only one that I think actually End of Fear. You might be wondering how is End of Fear a weather related type title. That's because it refers to the paranoia you could feel during a storm. I mean, you got to keep in mind that when thunderstorms usually happen, especially when it's a tornado, people tend to feel very very scared for their lives and everything. Like they feel like it's going to be like the end of the world, which it's kind of funny though. But yeah, they kind of feel like that it'll be the end of the world when it really isn't. But that's how people are. People always overreact. But yeah, that's End the Fear. That one was probably my least favorite track, but I still don't get me wrong, I still liked it, but that was the one I put the least amount of effort into for some strange reason, because I usually put a lot of effort into my music, but whatever. uh, but yeah, what was I about to say? Um, but on the other side of the spectrum, well, not on the other side, but on the other hand, there's Dust Devil, which is another great track of mine that I think I did. Whether or not if you thought it was good is entirely up to you. I honestly really don't care if you like it or not. I honestly really don't care if you guys really hate it. I mean, like, if you enjoy it, that's great. But Dust Devil, that was another good one. And Dust Devils refers to, like, a phenomenon where, like, a a wind of vortex kind of like forms. This mostly happens in like desert areas, like areas that are hot. And what happens is that like sand or dirt will kind of like start spinning in like a vortex, like a tornado. Now, thankfully, they're definitely nowhere near as powerful as a tornado. I mean, you got to keep in mind a tornado is a funnel cloud. So it's just like true. So like maybe if you were inside a tornado, if you were inside a tornado, the most you would probably feel is probably strong winds at the most, like the pressures of the wind, but that's about it. Other than that, it doesn't physically kill. Other than that, a tornado by itself doesn't physically kill you, unless it's that damn strong. Then God forbid. Uh, then there's the hurricane. I mean that song title speaks for itself. Then there's Eye of the Storm. This one was actually my second favorite track. Eye of the Storm was really good. It had such heavy dubstep vibes into it. It's actually one of my personal favorite dubstep tracks ever. Personally, uh, I actually kind of liked actually, to be fair, I kind of like Lethal Lightning a little bit better than Eye of the Storm. Like when it comes to dubstep tracks in here, because you got to keep in mind there's DNB, then there's dubstep in it. I thought Lethal Lightning was probably the better one. But Eye of the Storm was definitely like right up there. Then there's Mouth of the Tornado, which is funny. That's the hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's funny. Mouth of the Tornado is the 8th track on the album, and believe it or not, that was actually the first song of the Eye of the Storm album that was produced. Yes, this particular album right here. I'm not actually making this up. Mouth of the Tornado is right after Eye of the Storm, which is the 7th track of the album, and Mouth of the Tornado is the 8th track of the album, but I can definitely tell you that that song was actually produced first before any of the other songs were made. Yes, Eye of the Storm wasn't even done. In fact, as a matter of fact, Eye of the Storm was actually was actually the last song produced for the album. Believe it or not, that was actually the last one. So yeah, even though it's not Zomboy, that's the thing. A lot of the songs are out of order, but that's how I like to publish my albums. I kind of like to create a little randomness, but that's just me. Feel free to get mad at me all you want. What was I about to say? Yeah, but about Mental Degradation, this one is my second personal favorite album. Yes, I think Mental Degradation is better than Reptile's Trap. Uh, because like I said, there was so much thought that I put into this one particular album because like I wanted to really let out all my emotions productively, and Mental Degradation was the only way I was going to do it. And you guys probably remember this album under its original name. For those of you who don't know, Mental Degradation's original name was Vertigo. Yes, that's right. It was. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you may remember this particular image right here, if I can get it up. Like, if you remember this one particular album cover, because I remember I was advertising the album around the time when I released Eye of the Storm. When I released the Eye of the Storm album, I announced that I was going to make another rap album, which was this. Yup. Vertigo. Yes. This particular album right here was the original name for Mental Degradation. Now, why exactly did I now why exactly the whole change? I mean, you can look at the artwork; they're both so different. But I like how they both rematched, how they matched the image. Like Vertigo obviously has an eyeball in it because vertigo actually refers to a certain condition that happens with your eyes. Uh, and then there's mental degradation that features an anime character who looks like a zombie. Well, you know what I mean. So it was just like, I kind of like that. But yeah, mental degradation's original name was Vertigo. Now the only reason the biggest reason why I decided to change the album's like overall theme altogether is because I wanted to match like the subject matter for most of the songs that were being produced for it. On top of all that, when I tried releasing Vertigo initially, which was a big mistake because the album wasn't even done, uh, I was actually you see when I was trying to do it at the time. That's the thing, like many of the songs that are on Mental Degradation have been completed since 2019. Like all the beats that were done for it, with the exception of Living Like Larry, the beats for that was done this year by Ian. That was the only 2020 recorded track. Uh, but other than that, all the other stuff were done in 2019. Like the rest of the whole album, with the exception of Living Like Larry, was done in 2019. Uh, and not to mention when I tried uploading Vertigo, uh, Dystro Kid kept rejecting it, so that sucked. So then I went out of my and so then I decided, you know what? I'm gonna take a lot more time with this album and everything, which is precisely why it took so long for Mental Degradation to get a release. Because I wanted to take a lot more time making it. I wanted to make sure that the beats were heavily edited from how they were originally. Because if you listen to the original demo versions for Vertigo, they weren't that good. Uh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I literally lost my train of thought just that fast. See what I mean when I say that I have ADD? It's really terrible. Um, but yeah, I wanted to take some time to mix the tracks and even come up with a couple of vocals, just so that way I could do something different from Master Reptile for once. Now, but I'm gonna reiterate the fact. I'm also, like I said, I'm gonna reiterate that there is a potential chance that 2020 is going to be the final year of Master Reptile because of the fact that I'm running out of like ideas on how I want to do it. Because to be honest with you, when I did the next reality, right, which was also in 2017, yeah, when I did the next reality, which is also another one of my favorite albums too, because of the fact that I had house music, I had EDM, and I had techno, and I love those kinds of electronic music. For the record, by the way, I mean you can kind of tell that a lot of my songs are electronic. But like I said, it's the fact that I'm running out of ideas, like a creative direction. Like I don't know how I want the music to sound anymore and everything. But again, I would take it with a grain of salt only because it's something that I'm thinking about. Um, and as far as dubstep goes, that one I'm probably gonna retire from as well, definitely, because when I did Eye of the Storm, I literally thought to myself when I made this album, right? Like I said, it took me a full year to create it. So when I first did this album, I thought to myself, there is no way I'm gonna top this one. I mean, like I knew I was gonna be able to top the Ministry, because like I said, that was my very first album, so it wasn't gonna be the best one by any means. But when I did Eye of the Storm, though, the first thing that came into my head was this was the most dope dubstep album I ever did, so I'm definitely not gonna top it. I mean, like I said, Lethal Lightning, Eye of the Storm, Mouth of the Tornado could have been better. There were some parts where I kind of fucked up on it, but other than that, it was good. But Eye of the Storm and Lethal Lightning were definitely my two dubsteps from it. But there's no way I'm gonna be able to top Eye of the Storm. Usually, when I release another album, I usually want it to be better than the last, and that's where I think Mental Degradation kind of came from. I feel like it topped, it topped Streets, and it topped Master Reptile in my own opinion. But again, feel free to have your own opinions. Not everyone is gonna, agree with me. I mean, Ian straight up said in the chat, he says, I mean, my biased ass would still say Reptile's Trap is the best because of the song that I was featured on. Well, at least he admitted that he was being biased about it. But that's besides the point, though. With Mental Degradation, this album was a long time coming for me, and I'm glad I was able to get it out, because personally, I thought I was never going to get it, but I'm glad that I did. And the fact that, like, I got this, the fact that I paid $3 just to have the album cover done, it should be a testament to how, how passionate I am about, my art and everything. But again, a lot of artists do it. Mr. Director Ray says, okay, but before you retire the Master Reptile name, we gotta make a couple more songs tonight. I mean, together, no, tonight, bro. I can't fucking spell. Yeah, like I said, I'm only contemplating. Like, if our next collaborations turn out to be successful, then there's a chance that I might continue Master Reptile, but only throw out more songs here and there. And hell, I might even bring back my my EDM, techno, and house style of music and stuff. Whether or not if you guys want to listen to those tracks, I'd be open. Let me know. So, you know what I mean? So. The only way that the Master Reptile name is still gonna stay alive is if you guys, the fans, demand it. Like, if you guys demand more Master Reptile, then I will go out on my way and try to do it. Now, as far as dubstep goes, like I said, dubstep in my opinion is the hardest music to make, because you have to literally construct like the sounds, like the growls and the basses and all that stuff. Like, you have to painstakingly mix them, give them EQs, and give them like a distinct style, a distinct inspired style that could sound like something that Skrillex or Zomboy would make, something like that. Those are just two examples, just for the record. Or Kevin said it in the chat, Daft Punk. There you go. In fact, Daft Punk played a huge role in inspiring the next reality. The other thing that you might notice is that speaking, of techno songs, my Kerncraft 400 cover song, unfortunately couldn't make it on the Spotify version of the next reality due to the fact that it's a copyrighted song. Even though it was a cover song, they couldn't allow it for some stupid reason. And if you guys don't know what Kerncraft is, you probably best know it for hearing it in like football games and all that stuff. Like, it was a classic techno song from like '99, I think, and it went like da na 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 da na 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 da na da na. Yeah, I actually did a cover. I did a cover art of that song. Yo, bro, what's up? Give me 1 sec, folks. Yeah, that's just my very sexy, lovely brother in the background. Who, for the record, I'm just gonna say this. My brother is actually gonna start streaming soon, which is exciting because he just got his gaming PC done. I know we're going off topic here, but I wanted to throw that out there. So there's a chance that me and my brother will do like streams or like videos together. Whether or not he would be open to that idea, entirely up to him, but I just wanted to throw that out. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. I actually never would have thought that my brother would actually do that, but it's gonna be really exciting once he finally starts streaming all that stuff, and then he can finally join me and my cousin Nasha Dante in several videos and stuff. We might even do like Tekken 7 videos together, even if he whoops my ass with this Heihachi of his. But hey, like I said, I digress. Levon also says dubstep was dead around 2016 in terms of bro step. That's why I felt like I wanted to make my future dubstep songs soft or early 2000s based. Yeah. Mine's the ones for Eye of the Storm followed the more modern style of dubstep in a way. And the only reason I felt like the only reason I wanted to do them is strictly because like I always loved the dubstep music and all that stuff. And even though dubstep isn't as popular as it used to be, there's still some good dubstep tracks that are still being released nowadays that are still pretty good here and there. You know what I mean? Like we can kind of agree that obviously the quality of dubstep isn't as strong as it used to be, but there's still some good tracks that are released here and there, and I've listened to them. They're pretty dope. I mean, like, especially, I mean, have you listened to Tekken 7 soundtrack? Now that I brought that up earlier, Tekken 7 soundtrack specifically has dubstep type music, which again I think is pretty awesome because you don't often hear that those kinds of songs like that. Not anymore. Ever since like Skrillex kind of like changed up his style, because he was the guy who's considered like in a way revolutionizing dubstep into modern, at least the modern style of dubstep, particularly bro step. Uh, so he's often credited for that. But yeah, that's literally every. But honestly, after everything that I just said, I feel like I just let everything on my chest. Um, so like I said, as of today, hold on a second, let me remember that. I'm sorry. So yeah, like I said, as of today, my brand new album, Mental Degradation, is out. It's available on Spotify, it's available on Apple Music, and it's also available on Google Play Music. Okay? That's another thing that I love about using DistroKid, the fact that it easily publishes everything out there. Just give me 1 second, y'all. Alright. Yeah, like I said, just give me a second. I'm just trying to see if I can get it. I'm just trying to see if I can actually get them all up here. But yeah, like I said, my new album is out right here, right now. And then Ian also says, "Oh shit, I was supposed to upload another beat, bro. I'll do it later." Yeah, I'll do it later. Like I said, dude, take your time, dude. Take your time. There's no need for you to like there's no need for you to like you know beat yourself up for it. You know what I mean? So but yeah, what was I about to say? Yeah, my but yeah, my music is out there. I for whatever reason, I'm trying to see if I can trying to see if I can. Well, that's funny. I can't pull up the iTunes store. That's fucked up. That's very fucked up. Oh well. So like I said, my new album, Mental Degradation, is out, and I'm about to show you where you guys will be able to easily find it. All right. Oh, look at this. I forgot Spotify had the web player. Is it wrong that I forgot that? Is it actually wrong that I forgot that Spotify actually has a web player to the point where you don't need to download where you don't need to download Spotify on your computer in order to play the music? Is it wrong that I forgot that? Probably. But yeah, I just wanted to see like if I could just very very quickly uh yeah, I just wanted to see if I can do something very quickly. Like I said, I'm doing everything on the fly. I mean, keep in mind, you're watching a live stream. You are watching a goddamn live stream. Besides, I still haven't even really utilized this fucking software to the best of its ability. So yeah, there you go. So as you can see, let me try to put it in the center here. I'm breaking the fourth wall quite a lot. Yeah, I'm breaking the fourth wall quite a lot today. Okay, forgive me, guys. Yeah, here we go. There we go. So yeah, there you go. You can kind of you can literally see the collection of Master Reptile on Google Play, as you can see. That's how much. Yes, that's how much I'm charging for these friggin' albums. I mean, like it's a dollar. It's literally a dollar per track. So there you go. um, but yeah, the entire Master Reptile collection is on here, and like I said, Mental Degradation's on here too. Uh, it does says it's explicit too. So yeah, you can literally see the entire collection of songs on here. It's only $7.92 if you wish to get that. The only album that's like $10 at the most is Eye of the Storm. I mean, keep in mind this is the one I worked the hardest on. So yeah. And then you also have the fact that on Spotify, on the other hand, you also have the fact that the albums are also on here too. Where to the point where you don't have to pay for the songs in particular, but you can just like pay for the subscription just to listen to them. Well, if you want to listen to it ad free. Uh, and remember how I said earlier that "City of Brotherly Love" is my fifth most popular song on the platform? Yeah. Currently, my "We Are Number One," but it's Master Reptile remix is actually my most popular song on Spotify, clocking in or at least accounting up to over 13,000 listeners. Yes, I have 13,000 listeners for my remix of "We Are Number One," which is crazy. And to those of you who listened to that particular track, which again, it came from my first album, the fact that y'all enjoyed it, thank you. You know what I mean? Just thank you. It was funny because that was the least original song that I did. That was the least original song that I did for two reasons. One, it's a cover song of a very famous song, "We Are Number One," from the show Lazy Town, which I used to listen when I was a kid, by the way. And also the structure of the remix was based off of Levon's version of was based off of Levon's version of We Are Number One. Like the way like the structure of it. Uh but with that being said, I still appreciate the fact that y'all enjoyed it. I still really loved it. You know what I mean? Anyways, with that being said, I think I've said enough. I think I have. I just really hope that I'm just really glad that you guys enjoyed it. Watching this live stream and seeing what I had to say. And like I said, I'm just really glad that I'm back and everything. Uh, it told me, I just needed some time off, which I hope a lot of you can understand. But like I said, I'm very much appreciative of the fact that y'all were being patient with me, and hopefully sooner or later, uh, yeah, sooner or later I'll be back to streaming as well. I also have I do have a playthrough of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2, the remix that just recently came out. I actually recorded these. I actually recorded these videos the day that it came out, and I do think it's the best remake of 2020 so far. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. And it's funny because like I've never properly showcased Tony Hawk's Pro Skater on the channel, which is a big mistake because I love Tony Hawk. I really do. It's the only sports game that I only play. But yeah, those videos are gonna be coming up. I'm also gonna be finishing up my playthrough of Resident Evil 3 remake. Like I said, all the videos are done. Like I already have beaten this game. It's just I have to put them. I just have to edit them together and upload them to my YouTube. You know what I mean? And Ian also says, "Oh yeah, I don't know if you saw the message I sent you on Discord earlier, but on Living Like Larry, you credited me as Ian Carson in the writing credit." Yeah, I know. Like I said, when I asked you what your last name was, you kind of responded a little too late because it was just like the fact that you never responded. I kind of ran out of patience, unfortunately, because I was trying to get the album out as quickly as I could because I was on a time constraint. So I had no choice but to credit you as Carson based on your Discord name, but I completely forgot that your last name was Gerald, and I do apologize about that. I don't know if I can. I'm actually not sure if I. Wait a second. How did you actually find out about the? Oh, that's why. Yeah, I gotta make sure. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can change that. I think I can. I actually believe I can, but I just don't know. I just don't know how. Uh, but sometime, hopefully sometime I will actually try to figure out how to do that. But it's pretty difficult for me to really figure that out right now. I'm just hoping. I'm just hoping that it will let me update it without there being like some kind of fucking catch or something. Well, it says right here. Hold on a second. Credits. Here we go. Oh, okay. So I can update it. Okay. So as it turns out, I actually can. Uh, let me see. Let me see something. Let me see. Uh, yeah. Here we go. Be maker. Hang on one second. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to see something here. Yeah, I don't really know. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I was looking for that. There we go. All right, there we go. It's funny. I actually figured out how to change it. Don't worry, Ian. I already took care of it. I already changed it. It did tell me that it did say that it was gonna take about a week for it to show up. Apparently, at least that's what it said. But I'm taking that with a huge grain of salt. Uh, Here, let me go on Spotify right now and see if it changed. I mean, all I did was just change the fucking credits. I mean, it can't possibly take a week. Yeah, you're still credited as Ian Carson, but sooner or later it will be sooner or later it will oh, in fact there's one other thing I forgot to add. Hold on a second. There was one other credit I forgot to add. The fact that you were the beat maker. Let me add that. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I can't believe I'm actually doing this all on the fly. Uh, but yeah, but yeah, like I said, I've done everything. I said and did everything I wanted to do. Just make sure you guys listen to my brand new album, Mental Degradation. I appreciate the support and the patience that you guys had with me as far as my break and everything. Like I said, I will try and throw out some more videos and everything. I really do hope they do get a good amount of views. I would hope so, but I can't guarantee it though, because people tend to have crazy interests. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Okay, just thank you guys for tuning in. This is your friendly neighborhood reptile signing off. Yeah, you can kind of see my new glasses. I literally just you can kind of see my new pair of glasses. I just literally just got them today. But yeah, see you guys later. Adios.